so frustrated they vomited blood. Wah! This is so disrespectful. You beat me up like this again, and in front of the woman I love. How am I supposed to face her now? Mario, his pride wounded, was filled with grief and indignation and wept bitterly. It's okay. I didn't let her off the hook either, Katie said. Wah! Mario cried even louder. Stop crying, Mario. It hurts me. Astrid, who was also seriously injured, looked cold, then gave a bitter smile. I'll never fight any of them again. Winnie and Carol, who had narrowly escaped death, exchanged a smile. Maybe I should just retire? Why are there monsters everywhere these days? Ken muttered. I'm not a monster, Katie answered truthfully. Alice looked at her teammates with disdain. If you keep acting so recklessly, I'm not saving you. Honestly, you don't even know how strong the opponent is before you start fighting. Aren't you afraid of running into an opponent like Lor Yen? Despite her complaints, she diligently began the treatment. Mario and the others, now fully recovered, had much clearer eyes. Today it is. Let's go back to the association now. We'll finish the handover, take on the new commission, and then leave the city before dark. Very good. Katie finally sheathed her sword. The group breathed a sigh of relief at the same time. After persuading them with reason, the Bloodfang Adventure Group's enthusiasm for doing things increased significantly. Back at the Adventurers Guild, with half of the mission points injected, Perseus's Struggle Adventure team instantly rose to 3 stars. The 3-star Adventurer Group may sound impressive, but it's utterly worthless. There are thousands of them in Eagle Peak City alone, making it completely unworthy of recognition. They must reach the top level of 4 stars to be able to climb the ladder rankings. This distance of less than 2 stars is far more difficult than going from 1 star to 3 stars, and most adventure groups never manage to cross it until they disband or perish. But in reality, this is just a matter of 3 to 4 5-star commissions. Moreover, this is only if you get half the points. If you get all the points, you can get on the leaderboard in just 2 or 3 days. However, 5-star commissions are not available every day, so more 4-star commissions are needed to make up for it. So in reality, it took Perseus and the others nearly 10 days. The Struggle Adventure team ranked 29th, barely making the list, but still surpassing 99.9% of the adventure teams. Thanks to Mario and his companions' unusually diligent efforts these past few days, their Bloodfang Adventure Group has also reached 8th place on the ladder rankings. With double happiness upon us, we have no choice but to have a big celebration. Tonight's entire bill is on me, Mario. Mario let out a howl and stepped into the tavern, where he was greeted by countless wails of gratitude and praise. Perseus and his group follow behind, forming a very large group. This time, he brought not only Katie, but also Ivisa and the others. Since it's a celebration, the more lively the better. As members of the Bloodfang Adventurers, they naturally had a corner of the tavern under their control, and no one dared to challenge them. This way, you can find peace and quiet amidst the noise. At least the corner isn't as chaotic as other places. Mario and his group are regulars. Although they have been in the wild recently, they still follow the same old routine whenever they arrive. Beer is poured in glass after glass, and then emptied. Because of Mario's generosity, the other customers won't be polite to him either. In fact, with Mario's wealth, he could easily buy the entire tavern, so he wouldn't care about the cost of a few drinks. The atmosphere was rising steadily, and demons were dancing wildly everywhere. The main group drinking in the corner was still the Bloodfang Adventurers. Perseus and the others were quite restrained. Perseus himself only took a sip of his beer, not really enjoying the drink itself, but rather appreciating the people drinking. Neither Ivisa nor Carol liked to drink alcohol. Katie wanted to drink, but she knew she wouldn't be able to stop once she started, and fearing she might mess things up, she decided not to. Winnie also wanted to drink, but Perseus had specifically told her not to before they came. If she dares to touch a single drop of alcohol, I'll throw her out into the street. So, Winnie just stared wide-eyed, secretly swallowing her saliva. Amid the commotion, Perseus noticed a familiar figure. It was Paidler, that seemingly unreliable intelligence broker. Paidler seemed to have come specifically for him, and did not approach him, but kept giving him meaningful glances. Perseus couldn't stand a man flirting with him. He wanted to ignore him, but the guy was persistent. He had no choice but to go over and see what was going on. After whispering a few words to Ivisa and Katie, Perseus got up and went over. The two did not speak, as if they were complete strangers, and left the tavern one after the other after a period of time. Finally, they met up in a secluded alley near the tavern. Paidler smiled, and without saying a word, flicked a gold coin over with his thumb. Perseus took the coin, glanced at it, and then returned it to the coin. This is the one he gave to Paidler last time. You didn't take it to pay the bill? How did you get out of there afterwards? Perseus asked curiously. Don't forget, I'm the best information broker. If I couldn't even skip out on a bill, you wouldn't be seeing me now, Paidler shrugged. How about that? Now you believe in my abilities, right? But I don't have 100 gold coins on me. What should I do? It's all right. Practice makes perfect. If we meet again someday, we'll be friends. Friends should have this much trust between them. You can buy on credit? Why didn't you say so earlier? Hee, as long as you don't skip out on the bill like I did. He's an interesting guy. Although I didn't have high expectations for this person's abilities, it wouldn't hurt to give it a try. At worst, I'll just skip out on the bill. Perseus gets straight to the point. The first thing I want to know is, who exactly are you, Paidler? Chapter 148, Visiting Others. After a brief silence, Paidler forced a smile. Me? I'm just an insignificant, ordinary person, not worth your time to investigate. You said 100 gold coins was just the minimum, and that you would need to pay extra to get more specific information. Now I just want to get your information, so just name your price. Perseus smiled. After thinking for a moment, Paidler held up one finger. My intelligence, 1 copper coin. So cheap. The value of intelligence depends on the value of the person who possesses it, and I am insignificant and worthless. I only accept a copper coin because I cannot find a smaller amount than a copper coin, Paidler said sincerely. Perseus then tossed him another gold coin. Too much. Paidler shook his head after taking it. Don't mind, I don't have any change on me. Consider the extra amount as advance payment for the other information. Paidler nodded and solemnly accepted the gold coins. Now you can speak, Perseus said. I think instead of just talking, I'll take you somewhere. Once we get there, you'll understand me better, Paidler said with a smile. Where's that place? My home. Perseus nodded. Go now. No ruse. Before we set off, I have a favor to ask. No way I'm talking about lending you money, Perseus said, scoffing. Paidler was taken aback for a moment, then burst into laughter. You're so funny. What is your request? Speak. I'd like you to change your clothes first, Paidler said, somewhat embarrassed. Perseus looked at himself. His attire was perfectly appropriate, clean, and completely concealing, with absolutely no suspicion of him deliberately selling his body. Do you have any opinions about my style of dress? Perseus asked seriously. No, it's just that the clothes you're wearing make you look too much like an adventurer. This is it, since Perseus made these clothes so that they would be indistinguishable from the adventurers of Eagle Peak City. What do you mean he looks like an adventurer? He is. Moreover, he's already a rising star adventurer on the leaderboard. But judging from Paidler's sincere demeanor, he didn't seem to be deliberately picking a fight, so there must be another reason behind it. Do you have any opinions about adventurers? Perseus asked, half jokingly. Paidler smiled. His smile was always the clear and cheerful type, and his face was so handsome that it was easy to like him just by smiling like that. But in the next instant, his handsome face was expressionless, cold and stern as black iron. Yes. Paidler spoke in a tone that left no room for misunderstanding. Fortunately, Perseus didn't really consider himself an adventurer. Even though he knew the other party had a problem with adventurers and was very cold and unfriendly, he didn't put himself in their shoes. Then wait a bit. Let's go home first, Perseus said. I need to change my clothes first. How about we meet here in No problem. After readily agreeing, Perseus took Katie back to the tavern and took Ivisa and the others with him. Mario and his companions were enjoying their drinks, mingling with the other adventurers in the tavern, arm in arm, clinking glasses and singing strange but humorous songs with lyrics that were both and violently erotic. What's wrong? What happened? Winnie asked. No, it's just that I'm taking Katie somewhere, and it might be a long time before I'm back. I'm worried about leaving the three of you in a tavern. That kind of chaos